not expecting it to be that long, so I'm hoping it's good. 'Cause I'm interested in. Oh, this guy was moving away. First guy was moving away. The corrupted case file. That's what it's called. Alright. Go to options real quick. Do we play... Oh. The language in English. Font size normal. Font speed normal. Controls. So, controls are pretty basic. It's just press X. Because it is a digital novel after all. Alright. Let's see what it's about. I'm assuming there's no voice acting in this. Rinko? God damn it. Rinko! Erica? No one wants to talk about it, but it's all that's on anyone's mind these days. Mysterious things are happening all around Shibuya. Sightings, attacks, disappearances, fear. How is a kid supposed to be a kid in a time like this? It's a pretty good question. But honestly, Ryota never really was like most kids. He's usually not glued to his phone all day. Ryota's concerns bring him to a mysterious case file posted online. It's titled The Kirigoaka Vanishing. He reads it to himself the best he can. Having tracked another report of dark fog to the area, I've arrived to find it had passed, leaving dreary rain hanging over the neighborhood. At the scene, all we found were the clothes of a mother and a son, left behind like two molted cicada shells. It's hard to even imagine, a parent and her child, just gone, precious lives snuffed out forever. My heart sank knowing that I had failed to protect them. It's the worst feeling I've ever felt. As if on cue, the rain started pouring down. Heavier and heavier it felt with each passing minute. It fell with each passing minute, but I couldn't be bothered to take out my umbrella. That's when the obvious culprits returned to the scene of the crime. A group of monsters. They had umbrellas of their own, as if rain followed them wherever they go. I was furious. I brought hell down onto them at that very moment. They tried to protect themselves with the umbrellas, but I just kept pounding on them until they were battered and broken. I was so exhausted I could have fallen over at any moment, but my utter wrath kept me going. As I picked up to leave, I still refused to open up my own umbrella. I just walked away, rain pouring and soaking me to the bone. KK. Okay. Unable to shake the idea that monsters are all around him, Ryota navigates on his phone to a document called the Muranochi Vanishing. The language is complicated, but he works to understand it. It says, I got a tip on a missing woman from Muranochi. When you've been a detective as long as I have, you tend to build up a big network of contacts. The story my contact told me was that she saw the woman one day when the fog rolled in. It blanketed the area and then poof, she was gone. Times like these make me wish a certain somebody was around. Come to think of it, the fog and these disappearances set the scene for when I first met the rest of my crew. Everybody kept talking about folks just up and disappearing, and I thought it was a load of horseshit. It wasn't until I met them, and until my encounter, that I believed. Ever since then, I've been haunted by what I would have once called hallucinations. Turns out being able to see spirits and monsters isn't fantasy movie nonsense after all. Guess I should be thankful, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen through that monster taking the form of a woman. She made a bunch of red orbs appear that chased me around, but I knew so long as I didn't let myself get surrounded, I'd be okay. She was a nightmare to look at, so I put her out of her misery. No. When I searched the scene, I spotted a woman's handbag, found the missing lady's ID cards in there. Then I came across some clothes that looked like they would have been hers. They were in a little pile, but the way they had fallen made it clear her body had just vanished. No mistaking whose handiwork it was either. I had finally managed to get my hands on a solid enough lead to work with. KK. Could monsters really live among us? These case files say that yes, they absolutely can and do. According to this one, a lady called me about a missing person who vanished from the bathroom of her apartment. Usually I'd brush it off as another runaway. Oh, wait. But after seeing the crows circling above her apartment, I had a feeling there'd be more to this. The black stains on the front door verified my hunch. It turns out that I'm the only one that can see these black stains. The lady who lived there and showed me in made no signs of noticing it. She showed me the bathtub and gave me a play-by-play of what happened. Her boyfriend was taking a bath, longer than usual, and so she went to the bathroom to check in on him. When she opened the door, her boyfriend was gone, and for a short instant, there was a reflection of an old shrine on the surface of the bathwater. I rubbed my finger on the rim of the bathtub, and there was a transparent, sticky, slime-like substance on it, a reflection of a shrine shown on the water surface. I'll need to talk further with my team about this incident to see if these ring any bells. I purged the black stain on the front door and left the scene. Poor lady. What will she do now? What can any of us do? KK. Alright. In these posts, the kid had found something, or rather someone called KK, has been looking into monsters in this part of town. A believer, just like Ryota. Social media would never lie. Okay. And that means KK is an expert, maybe the expert, in all things paranormal. There's only one. Pelican, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Shinobi clan. Hope you're having a good day today. Hey Blake, how are you? Welcome to the stream. There's only one thing left to do. Having pored over every story, post, and grainy photo about local monsters he could find, Ryota prepares to take action. Oh. And Anonymous, thank you for the 100 biddies. I appreciate it. How are you doing today? You're good? I'm glad. Glad to hear it. I'm gonna ask this KK guy to help. Just gotta figure out where he lives first. Oh, guess I'm searching. Contacts. Dear Mr. Investigator Person. I guess since you don't know their name, it makes sense. Dear Mr. Investigator Person, hello, how are you? I'm not good and I need your help. Monsters got my best friend Sosuke? I think that's how you pronounce that? Could be wrong. Rinko sits up in her chair. She's zeroed in on one of a dozen monitors from across a makeshift command center stuffed into this cramped Tokyo apartment. It happened near the manhole. Please help me get him back. Data flies across the screens, seemingly too much. Charts and graphs, maps and mathematical equations, even social media feeds and open case files. Somehow, through all of those screens and all of that clutter, Ryota's message catches Rinko's eye. Sounds desperate, but it could be just a bored kid trolling us. Calm and confident, Rinko insists on balancing compassion with skepticism in her analytical approach. On the other hand, that manhole is within the vicinity of several recent incidents. Maybe he is involved. She knows what she thinks, but she also knows that no one can protect Tokyo all by themselves. Trusting your teammates is the only way to keep everyone safe. What do you make of it, Ed? Ed squints and takes a single deep breath as he turns to the screen. He has something to say but holds it back. Technology is easy. People are hard. Instead of speaking up, he places a small recorder on his desk. He presses play, and as the audio begins to roll, Ed turns and walks away. Wow. That's okay. I've heard intriguing stories about so-called manhole girls in Japan. Vengeful ghosts of bullied students said to trick other children into following them into the sewer, from where they never return. If any information turns up about such anomalies, I'd be keen to investigate, though I speak purely out of personal interest. It might not be enough to make the rest of my team pursue it without further evidence. Okay, safe to say, since you somehow found the time to record something this specific about a single urban legend, that you want to look into it. Ed is already engrossed in other work. He doesn't respond. He certainly doesn't notice when Rinko rolls her eyes. He really does. Ed's a very interesting character. Probably best we have no idea how you spend your free time, huh, Ed? Erica has been sitting next to Rinko this entire time, listening and waiting for the right time to chime in. That time is... Want me to check it out? I don't think so, Erica. Could be dangerous. What if something happens to you? Seriously? You still don't trust me to go out by myself for 5 minutes in the middle of the day? At just 16 years old, Rinko might be right not to trust Erica on something dangerous. But Rinko knows that Erica has shown a maturity beyond her years. Said that right. She gives Erica an almost sisterly look of skepticism. You know it's not that. Rinko quickly turns her back to her monitors and away from Erica. But for all her maturity, Erica can't quite keep from pouting. Stop making that face. Besides, we've got our very own private detective in the vicinity already. I'll have him take a look. The stall is brimming, as a wide array of customers eat in relative silence. The only sound they make is the slurping of their noodles. That silence breaks when a phone begins to vibrate upon the countertop. The owner ignores it, choosing to focus on his meal instead. The phone doesn't care about his hunger and continues to vibrate. The phone wins. The peace and solitude have shattered. This is no way to enjoy noodles. Nope, it's not. Absolutely not. Let me enjoy my ramen in silence. God damn it. The silent diner finally glances at the screen. He begins to mutter to himself. Another case? These people have me working harder than my enemies ever did. Can't even get 5 minutes to enjoy a nice, quiet lunch. Let me guess, I'll be risking life and limb? That why you let it ring for so long? Too scared to pick up? Ha, you know the exact day I stopped being scared of anything. The day you stopped being a loner and hooked up with us so we could have your back? Sure, that works. Besides, I'm not full enough to pretend this team isn't half okay. If you need backup, you know I'll be there. No questions asked. I actually already volunteered, but right now there's nothing dangerous to be worried about. It's a simple check-in on a report of some suspicious activity that may be connected to these phenomena we've been looking into. It's always the simple cases that go south the fastest. You know what? You're right. Maybe Erica should run point on this one. Sure, she's just a kid, but you're busy, so... Whoa, hold up. Let's not sacrifice the rookie to make me look bad. I'm already out. Send me the info and I'll get on it. First though, I need to talk to one of you about something. Oh, so what do I want to talk about? Guess I'll talk to Ed. Ed, I'm betting you have a file on this already. Got a file on everything. Ball again, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? How you been? Funny you say that. I have files dedicated solely to listing subjects that I don't have more complete files on yet. Want me to pull them up? Thanks. You're welcome, man. I'm doing pretty good. Glad you're doing good as well. How's Dead by Daylight been treating you? Just give me the highlights. Unfortunately, what I know about the legend of the manhole girl is so far is that it's just that, a legend. There may not be anything else to know. It appears to be a story passed around by kids at sleepovers. Gonna be boring and head into work now. Enjoy a game. Well, I hope work doesn't be too boring for you. Hope you have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it, Blake. Wouldn't be the first time something that isn't supposed to be real attacked me in a dark alley. If you're worried, maybe it's time I return to the field. When I wear my hat, I blend right into a Tokyo crowd. Funny, I would have never marked you for a Tokyo native. Then again, the place is absolutely crawling with tourists, isn't it? Thanks for the insights. I'll take it from here. Ryota doesn't notice the people passing him on the street. They don't notice him either. He is young, but he is very much alone. His focus is centered on a small bit of paper in his hands. After a couple folds, the paper finds a familiar configuration. With a head, arms, and body, it takes shape. A palm-sized person stands in his hand. As Ryota inspects his creation, someone who has been observing him from afar steps out of the shadows. What have you got there? Ryota looks up. He's nervous, but clutches the paper doll in his hands to stay brave. He's not running or hiding, despite the gruff stranger staring at him. No need to be afraid. I'm not here to do anything bad to you or your little friend. Gotta admit, I've been known to carry the odd paper doll with me on investigations. Strange habit, I know. But you get the benefits of a partner, without the annoying small talk. Ryota's shoulders ease. He lets his guard down as he listens to the detective and re-examines the folded paper. The detective surprises himself with his playful tone. He's rusty, but he somehow still feels comfortable talking to this scared kid. Sometimes paper dolls are used for magical purposes. You're a sorcerer by chance? Now's the time to tell me. So you really are him, huh? Gonna have to be more specific, kid. You're a KK, the ghost hunter from the files. You must be. I just thought you'd be taller. Damn, don't say that. They say you solve strange mysteries, right? KK? Maybe. The detective looks closely at Ryota's phone. He sees the social media post featuring photos of various case files he has worked on, collected in one place. Look, I'll only use those initials because writing out my name is a pain. And I got too much pain already. Not your problem, right? Anyhow, that's me, KK. But I'm no ghost hunter, I'm a detective. KK demeanor hardens a bit, dropping the playfulness. You wanted an investigator, kid. Well, you got me. I'm so glad you're going to look into the disappearances at the manholes. Here's the thing. I already did. Mason calls on my way here. There's no record of any recent disappearances. Still got a few friends on the force, so I can dig up dirt quick. KK shoots Ryota a serious look. Not trying to pull a fast one on me, are you, kid? It's true, honest. My buddy Sosuke disappeared. He hasn't come home since yesterday. Last place I saw him was right back here. Ryota motions to the alleyway behind him. He went down that way. I tried to follow, but I couldn't find him. He was completely gone. If Ryota is bluffing, he's an incredible liar. A sadness comes over him when he looks back towards the alley. KK looks back and forth, from the kid to the alley behind him. All alleys are dark, but this one looks like it's never seen daylight. See any fog when that happened? The moment he disappeared? Now that you mention it, there has been something spooky around, like a kind of fog or darkness, but it came and then went. Alright. KK mutters something to himself as he eyeballs the alleyway behind Ryota. Nothing looks immediately out of place. With so much going down in this city, some kid getting lost doesn't exactly seem like front page news. Call the kid's bluff. Press for more info. I'm gonna press for more info. I think he's telling the truth. I need more to go on, kid. Why are you so convinced he was taken? Didn't happen to anyone else around here. But it did happen to my best friend. Suosuke's been missing for 2 full days. Everyone has been looking, but no one can find him. What about his parents? Have they filed a police report? I'm the only one who cares about Suosuke. I know he needs me. And no one else is even looking for him anymore. Just me. He's lucky to have you. It's like when you saw a crow circling above the building in one of those cases you investigated. You knew there was more to it than everyone else. Well, Mr. KK, I know there's more to Suosuke's disappearance. I just need your help. Really did your homework, huh? I'm impressed. You're more dedicated than most adults I know. You remind me of my friend Erica. She lost someone too, and she'll never stop fighting for them either. KK takes another glance at the alley. Alright, show me exactly where this Sosuke pal of yours disappeared. Ryota perks up. So you're gonna look into it? I'm here, ain't I? Let me check in with my team. See if they've figured anything out. Could save us some time. KK reaches for his phone. What's up? We're all here. I just need a quick word with one of you to follow up on what this kid has told me. You find anything else? I know you've been searching all over on your fancy computer. Some worrying details have started to emerge. The type of details that mean he is for sure involved. Social media is starting to fill up with posts about the appearance of a mysterious dark fog. It's been popping up in neighborhoods with similar data sets to the one Ryota called from. School absences are also on the rise. I can't confirm if those represent actual disappearances or just spooked kids trading scary stories. But it's clear, fear and paranoia are taking hold. Yeah, I figured out that much. Oh, really? You carry a fear and paranoia detector now? Did Ed develop that when I wasn't paying attention? Years on the force will give me my fear detector. You can't. Alright, we're back. OBS is being buggy now. They really need to fix those issues that it has going on. Nothing looks out of place, but things are really what they seem. KK slowly but deliberately reaches his hands out. He's not holding on to anything, but you would think he is by the way he's moving, like he's got something invisible dangling from his fingertips. Ryota has no clue what he's trying to do, but he watches closely. However, what happens next can only be seen by KK's eyes. As KK opens his fingers, a sparkling orb of energy drops from his hand down onto the ground. It ripples like water in a still pond, energy flowing outward into the world. It's a cool little effect. A strange trail floats into view, as though a spirit has passed through this place. I'm glad they actually showing effects instead of just describing everything to us, you know? Psychic energy. The trail leads further on, deeper into the alley and out of view. Guess he went that way. Puzzled, Ryota follows KK's eye line down the alley, but sees nothing out of the ordinary. What happened? I don't see anything. Trust me, kid. It's good you can't see it. This is a power you don't want. And you're too young for it. To take a risk like that and change your life forever. The world's a scary place. It keeps getting worse. We're gonna find your friend and get you back to your life. KK and Rinko are in big trouble, this time, running like rats desperate to stay alive, with only a dingy old sofa between them and monsters. We'd better find another exit. Oh, I guess it kind of jumped us to a different point in time now. Rinko turns to KK and sees him holding his head. He appears to be in great pain. Damn, it's happening again. Your body's reacting to the ether. As KK looks at the room, oh, they shouldn't do that. His vision begins to break in half. He tries to focus, but rather than reform, everything continues to split. Everything continues to split apart even further. He's a voice actor, y'all. Well, got no choice but to read it, babe. But welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. They really shouldn't be doing this effect when you're trying to read those. I feel like this would probably... like, it's not really bothering me, but certain people might, you know, react badly to this. Another hallucination. The world is breaking in two. That'd be crystallized ether, another form of matter. Sounds like your body has entered the final stages of affinity. From thin air like phantoms, these horrific visitors appear, surrounding KK and Rinko. Damn, we're surrounded. Oh, we're back. Mr. KK? Are you okay? Huh? Sorry, kid. My mind can be a little hard to control. You just kinda stood there for a little while. Sometimes my memories take me places. Hate to leave you alone again, but you need to wait here while I look for your pal. Sit tight, I won't be long. A report on Rinko's computer setup flashes on screen. Ed's monitoring software has a hold of something big. The results are clear. Right, yeah, could cause seizures. That's what I was trying to I couldn't remember the words, babe, but thank you. Spiritual residue, and it's exactly at KK's location. What is it now? We just received an alert. There was a massive surge of spiritual energy at your location. Hold off on pursuing until we're able to send support. Can't wait forever for you guys. We might have a missing child on our hands. We got plenty of evidence, and I know what I'm getting myself into. Remember, fog reports are increasing. There's fear in the streets. Time to act. Of course I know those things. I'm the one who told you. Also, I know how dangerous it's getting out there. This time it could be even worse than the last. What if he shows up? Wish he would. Excited to see that mask snap in two when I put my fist through it. It's not fair to ask us for help when you think you need us, then use our own words against us when you're too impatient to act as a team. We're in this together. KK decides to address one team member specifically to make his case. I can talk to myself? Never mind. Oh, I'll talk to you later. I thought that would mean he would talk to himself. I'm in the middle of investigating. He was never any good at following people's directions. That attitude of his is precisely what saved our hides on countless occasions. You don't think I realized that? Erica smiles, thinking about KK's attitude. It doesn't bother her. Oh. Damn, they're everywhere. KK's eyes dart between the two horrific figures and to some incredibly strange glowing crystals that hover nearby. As he tries to speak, KK wheezes painfully. Rinko, what would happen if someone tried to touch one of those ether crystals? Your guess is as good as mine. Might give you the power to fight back, might just make you even more miserable. Who can say? What about him? Did it grant him strength? Rinko nods silently. After getting his answer, KK, without hesitation, stretches his hand out towards the crystals. Wait, stop! Stop is not an option. Not for any of us. You don't know what will happen. It could kill you. And those things won't. We're dead if we don't try something. We're not out of options yet. You've thrown away everything to fight these monsters. Same as me. There's not a goddamn thing left to lose at this point. There's not a goddamn thing left to lose at this point. Before Rinko can say anything else, KK reaches all the way out. Ooh. KK follows a trail of psychic energy deeper into the dark Shibuya alleyway, away from the glow of familiar streetlights and vending machines. His venture into the unseen brings him to a manhole cover where the spirit residue flashes with an eerie intensity. This spot is clearly the origin point for whatever spirit is at the center of this mystery. Did it take you this way, Susuke? KK looks around again and finding nothing focuses attention on this haunted manhole. The spectral vision shows KK a lot more than he thought it might, revealing a glowing specter hovering in this dark, dreary place. The spirit of a man in his 30s. Jibakure? According to Japanese lore, this type of spirit is trapped in a physical location. Okay, Spectre, what's keeping you tied down there? The Spectre seems unable to answer him. Instead, he mutters, as if distracted or perhaps completely delirious. Either or, maybe both. Spectres aren't especially concerned with politeness or clarity. Neither of us is going anywhere until I get some answers. I need to know, what are you doing here, specifically at this manhole cover? Why haunt this place? I thought it was just a kid. Just a kid playing around, just having fun, alone. I wanted to make sure he was safe. So just being neighborly, eh? Yes? No. Not making friend. Protecting. But he wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't a kid though, was it? There was something else. Something lurking in these shadows. Did I die? I think I died. But this isn't what I expected. What was it? Monster? A monster? The Spectre points downwards. Underneath, huh? KK stares at the manhole as though he just looks... As though if he just looks hard enough, he'll suddenly see what lurks in the darkness beneath his cover. He doesn't have to see the Spectre nod to know he's right. It went that way. Before he could pull the manhole cover and see for himself, a long shadow creeps in from the edge of the alleyway. Did you find anything? Snooping around is detective business. You don't belong back here. I thought I heard you talking to someone. Who is this youngster? Only I can hear you, so don't bother. Only you can hear me? Well, sure. Nobody else is even here. This is turned into a damn clown show, kid. I need you to stay here while I go down. It's not safe for you there. Not safe. Not safe. Monster. But how do you know I'll be safe up here? My team's one call away. They'll get here quick if you're in danger. Weren't you just saying something about being in the middle of an investigation and too busy to talk to anyone? Funny you should mention that. I could actually use some help. I believe they call it client services. Who do you call them, mister? Are they nice like you or nicer? Client services? Sounds more like babysitting to me. If only you would just wait for us to get there. We play the hand we're dealt. And juggling work and childcare has never been my strong suit. I need a little support. Rinko sighs, a long, tired sigh of a frustrated person who knows that in the end, of course, they'll help. She'll always help him, just as he will always help her. And I have the perfect candidate in mind. Ooh, who should I pick? Erica, she's the only kid I actually know and like anymore. Hey KK, you need my help? I can be there ASAP. I do need your help, but it can't wait. My new friend Ryota, the one who called us for help. Is he a little afraid of you? What? No. Why would you think that? I mean, yeah, maybe a little. But no, that's not it. Although it'd be better if he did fear me, then I could do my work. Oh, yeah, you aren't really that scary. I think I get it. Let me talk to him. KK hands his phone to Ryota and motions for him to accept this call. Yes? Is this Mr. Ryota? Yes. I'm so excited that I get to speak with you. I have heard that you are quite the investigator. I need help from someone like you. What can I do to help you? Well, our friend who is there with you, he actually has 2 missions. Since he is looking for your friend, maybe you could swap and look for my friend? If we share the responsibility, I'm sure that we can achieve success together as a team. I suppose I could try to help you, since he is helping me. Okay, but first, can you keep a secret? It's very important and related to this mission. Yes, I'm the best at secrets. I won't tell you how I know that, but it's true. My friend is a cat. I put a track on her collar that says she's nearby you, in the alley by your house. I miss her dearly. I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but some of my best friends are animals. Aw, that's cute. Maybe we get to see a cat. This secret is safe with me. What does she look like? She is all black, with one white spot and a few white whiskers. Her name is Monet, like the painter, and she really likes to hide. Can you look closely in between and behind all the vending machines and trash cans? Just to be safe, text me a picture of every dark corner you can find. She is very good at camouflage and easy to miss. I will find your friend. Ryota hands the phone back to KK and turns his attention to the nearest trash can. Phone out, he seems to be inspecting each side of it. Lucky for you, your new buddy is an animal lover just like me. I've given him a rescue mission to find a missing cat and send me a photo of it. But what if he succeeds? Tons of strays here. He might actually bump into one. I could always use more cats. More cat pics texted to me. Maybe he'll give it a home and that it needs. Win-win. Now to get down there and find your pal, Susuke. Alright. Pause this real quick. Pause this. Turn that down a little bit. There's no voiceover volume. Anyway. Continue. Dirty water splashes under KK's feet as he makes his way through the still darkness of Shibuya's sewers. The further he goes, the darker it gets, but not because of any change in light. No, this darkness is unnatural. In fact, it's not darkness at all. It's tangible. Dense fog made of spiritual energy fills the air. Toxic, paranormal waste coats the ground and plugs the drains. Ooh, it's creepy looking. But the air itself is rejecting him. His corruption flows between worlds and reaches around him, blocking KK's way. How long has it been building up, right below our feet? Is it like this everywhere? As KK goes deeper, the kegare only increases. There's definitely something here if there's this much corruption swirling around. Nothing I can't handle though. Alone in the darkness, KK summons his power and hold X and trace the shape to clear the... Oh, okay. I'm holding X. Oh. Wait. I was not expecting this part of the gameplay. I did it. Cleanses the corruption, returning the sewer to its normal state. That's better, minus the stink. With the kegare now clear, as if they were waiting for a moment of safety, someone appears. Susuke, is that you? The small boy avoids KK's look, turning his back and picking at something on the wet ground. Splish splash, splish splash. Hey kid, kid, you okay? Can you hear me? Are you hiding from something? Take a bath, take a bath. Come on, kid. This isn't the time or the place. Answer me. I'm not trying to scare you, but you gotta work with me here. In the vast darkness of the sewer, the sound of KK's phone suddenly rings out, the tiny chime echoing back and forth around the hollow space. The small boy in the raincoat doesn't seem to notice. He must be very preoccupied. I'm close. I found Susuke, but I'm worried. He won't... Muffled sounds. Down so far, the signal to KK's phone is barely holding on. He can only make out a few sounds and struggles to make out what words they might be forming. More muffled sounds. Hello? Is anybody there? Raincoat, is that you? Ed? Erica? Who is this? We'll try... Ed? Ed, can you hear me? Are you with Yoda? Can you ask him? Was Susuke wearing a yellow raincoat? The scratchy connection makes it almost impossible to understand. Susuke. It's about Susuke? Not. Ed, I can't understand. Susuke is not what? Not Susuke. The call cuts out, the phone going dead in KK's hand. Damn. Enough screwing around, Susuke. Just like that, finally, as if called by his mother to come to dinner, the child responds. He stands up. Oh, murder mysteries. Yeah. Hey, Bandit, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yes, so there's a new game coming out on the 25th called Ghostwire Tokyo. It's from the studio that made the Evil Within games. So it's like a action adventure game where you go face off against spirits and stuff like that. So this is like a prelude to that game. It's free on the PlayStation Store. It's probably free on Steam as well, if I'm not mistaken, because the game is coming out on PlayStation and Steam. But yeah, the art style is really nice. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And turns to KK with his dead evil eyes. But how's your day today? You're not Susuke. You're the monster. KK raises his hand, and calls forth an energy that he discovered that day long ago. The day he found his back against the wall, reaching out and touching the ether crystal. Ever heard of ethereal weaving, monster? Energy surges into KK's hand, green light winding and glowing, charging around his fingertips. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Definitely, it's a big departure from the actual game, though, because the actual game is like first person with like combat and stuff. Maybe there's detective work in that too. I'm not too sure. I'm doing good. Still at work. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good as well. It's been a good day. Can't complain. It's nice and nice weather today too. Like 60 degrees outside. So definitely a good day. None of that 20-degree nonsense. So the increasingly bright light glows, illuminating the tunnel. And in that moment, standing in the center of the tunnel, we can see this monster, this raincoat visitor, just in time for it to press a child's whistle to its mouth and... At a stranger's fingertip lies KK, now a prisoner. I need my subject to remain calm or nothing else will get done. Yeah, it's warming up, thankfully, yes. Spring is almost here. Despite being captive, KK flashes a stranger a fierce glare. You son of a bitch. Hello, my new friend. I'm keen to see how useful your vessel turns out to be. The stranger takes something out and holds it in his hand. An amulet, though clearly not simply for decoration, it surges with power. He looks from the amulet and back to KK and smiles. As the monstrous little raincoat visitor blows his whistle, he steps back into the shadowy darkness. Running away, huh? But he's not running away at all. In fact, he's only making space. Oh. For two much larger, far more horrifying visitors to show up and challenge KK. These things are creepy. They remind me of Slender Man, I think. I think that's how Slender Man looks. Minus the umbrella. I've been waiting to run into you again. Let's go, you bastards. Damage a single visitor with a wind attack. Visitors perish after 2 hits. A talisman that stops visitors from moving. It will be consumed on use. Defensive barrier. Ooh, so there's a little combat in this too. That's cool. I was not expecting that. So I'll do the wind attack. One umbrella visitor is injured. An umbrella visitor attacks. So I'll block. A barrier appears in front of KK. This is cool. Yeah, they don't look as tall as Slender Man, but I still see it. Oh yeah, Slender Man's like super tall. That's true. An umbrella visitor attacks, but its attack is deflected by the barrier. The barrier is broken. Alright, stop the visitors from moving. Oh, it also shows the damage on the visitors too. I just noticed that, the holes in them. The umbrella visitors are frozen in place. Only one stun talisman is left. I'll do another wind attack. One umbrella visitor is injured. The umbrella... Why I keep messing the umbrella? The umbrella visitor awakens from the stun. I'll attack again. One umbrella visitor is injured. Oh my gosh. Umbrella is not my word. I'm blocking again. A barrier appears in front of KK. The attack is deflected. Barrier is broken. Time to finish the visitor off. You're done. One more hit. Ooh, nice. The fight is not over. The sewer is oddly calm again. KK sweeps the space, looking for any clues that may be left behind. Why would a pack of monsters manifest their evil here? But then he sees it, affixed to one wall of the tunnel. A wooden tag, sometimes called a kifuda. This must be what summoned those things. KK reaches out to take the kifuda down, but as his fingertips approach it, ooh, what happened now? Rinko? God damn it. Rinko? Erica? KK feels a big, quick thump through his body. When he looks down, he sees someone else's arm stabbing through his chest. It's horrifying. Black smoke rushes out of his body. Looking back, KK sees a man wearing a Hanya mask? I think that's how that's pronounced. You're... Gasp. Or... I guess I should go do that instead of saying gasp. As KK comes to, he realizes that he is in the tunnel once again. No, still. He looks at his chest. It's totally fine. No gaping hole, not even a scratch. Sweating, breathing heavy, his mind races. It was a horrible dream. Maybe a vision? He grips the kifuda in his hand. I won't let him get away with this. So hard that it smashes it into pieces. At that moment, KK realizes he's not actually alone. Distracted by his fury, he had missed the approach of someone new. Who's there? Surprised, he spins to face this entity. But before he can raise his other hand... Ah! This man can't catch a break. Oh. KK emerges from the tunnel to find Ryota waiting for the rest of the team. I recorded something that I would like to share with you. You see, I've never been as comfortable speaking from the heart as others around me. That said, I'm no fool. I can understand what it means to show emotion. I know that it's not something easily captured, no matter how sophisticated the recording. So I've deleted it, and I will now do my best to express this directly to you. Okay, Ed, I see you. I'm glad that you're okay. Wow, Ed, that's deep. I mean, for you, anyway. Yes, thank you for lightening the mood by mocking this moment of vulnerability. Anytime. All of my instruments, devices, software, they tell a story. However, it's just that, a story. It's not necessarily the truth. It's an interpretation of the truth. Data is, of course, malleable. And the story that was told to me when we encountered this alleyway today was, I'll just say, rather grim. So he took his glasses off to talk. I'm sorry that I scared you like that. Naturally, I've prepared for numerous statistically viable conclusions. However, despite what the numbers tell me, I've never made a plan for carrying on in your absence. I don't know what else to say. I'm flattered, I suppose, that you don't want to believe how likely I'm to die. I have backup plans for my backup plans, and you're in them all. Safely above ground, reunited with his team, KK turns his attention to the original source of all this drama, his young client Ryota. You were never going to tell me, were you? Sosuke isn't your best friend. He's your dog. He's my dog and my best friend. Aw, look at Sosuke. Cute little puppy. KK steps back nervously as Sosuke tries to jump onto his lap. Tail wagging. Oh, calm down. He just wants to be pet. Jeez. Who would have thought that such a tough as nails former detective would have such a strong phobia around dogs? Don't have to. Oh, he's afraid of dogs. Aw, poor guy. Don't have to broadcast it, alright? Don't be scared, Sosuke loves everyone. Maybe he should draw that line at loving monsters and follow them into the sewer. Ryota hugs his dog and gets a face full of licks in response. KK relaxes slightly, seeing how harmless this little dog is, but still keeps some distance. I mean, I remember being afraid of dogs when I was a kid, though, but like the big dogs. Like the Rottweilers and Dobermans, I guess. Thank you so much for bringing him home safely, Mr. KK. Mr. KK? What an adorable alias. When exactly did you start going by this new short nickname, KK? I suppose it has a fun ring to it. Not quite so formal as your full name, K. Before we get too sidetracked, as a lead investigator on this one, you've got some paperwork to do, KK. Not sure what's worse, fighting monsters or filling out all these damn forms. It's obvious that you prefer the fighting to paperwork. KK scribbles out a few quick lines. Only Ed could read them. That's fair, I was afraid of big dogs too. Yeah, okay, see. I mean, yeah. I remember being afraid of one dog, and that, like, for like a few weeks, and then at the end of it, the dog was like super nice. So I had nothing to be afraid of the whole time. Hey kid, this is for you. The puppy is a cutie, yes, adorable. Oh, is it a prize for helping you find that ghost? Almost, it's the bill. You gonna bill the kid? Ryota's face sinks as he's left holding the check. Lucky for you. Today's work is, oh okay, pro bono. That means free. Consider this your receipt. I'm feeling generous right now. Ryota looks closely at the paper in his hands. In the case, it says, the case of the cursed manhole. Extermination complete. KK. Leaning in over his shoulder, Rinko lets out an uncharacteristically loud burst of laughter. Ooh, now I get it. You didn't choose the nickname KK. Sloppy paperwork chose it for you. There's a lot in this life that we don't get to choose. Call me what you like. Not like I got any use for a real name these days. And definitely not one of my old names. Doesn't matter what anyone calls me so long as I find that bastard. KK's gaze looks fierce, as though he's recalling a bitter past. Reflected in his eyes is Ryota, who looks pleased to have received KK's autograph. KK's expression softens up in response. That said, I guess KK's not so bad. Oh, alright. That's it. The prelude is over. Snack time. Okay, so I don't have any snacks. Sorry. I will make sure I have snacks for tomorrow's stream, I guess. But yeah, that's it. So it was about an hour or so. That was cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story and the characters who are apparently going to be in like the full game, so it's definitely got me even more excited for the actual game when it comes out next week. Ooh. Let's see if a trailer will play.
Practical work. People always decry the truth when forced to face it. Still your fear. I will be her salvation. Mari! The time is nigh. The world rests on the precipice of transformation. A new age will dawn.
It does look amazing. It's very interesting because when they first announced it, I wasn't that excited. Because like I wanted a part 3 to the Evil Within, but this looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.